Welcome back to Classic Vinyl Top 10s. Today we are in Namibia. Hi, right, well, we've left Walvish Bay in Namibia and now going to crack on with today's list. Today is the top 50 cover versions of all time, in my opinion, of course. So what do I mean by a cover version? It's basically the same song done by somebody other than the original artist, and they might have done it in a similar or a different way, but it's essentially the same song. So for this list, it means either I've chosen it because it's a superior version, in my opinion, or because it adds something different or interesting, a different take on the original. I think you'll be surprised at some of the inclusions, particularly the top 10. And you may find yourself thinking, hopefully, I didn't know that was a cover version. And a couple of these on here surprised me, so let's get on with it. If you like this sort of stuff, please kindly like, subscribe, do all that. I think we're nicely over 40,000 subscribers now, which is great. And you might have seen one or two of the videos has now topped 100,000 views, which is fantastic, so thank you for that and all your opinions and comments. Anyway, let's get on with it. Top 50 cover versions, here we go. Number 50, Suspicious Minds. This is Elvis versus an original 1968 Mark James version. Number 49, Whiskey in the Jar by Thin Lizzy. It was originally a Dubliners or traditional Irish song, so they really did take that apart, although apparently Lynott hated it for years afterwards. 48, Everybody's Talking, Harry Nilsson versus the original Fred Neil song. 47, Just Be Good to Me by Beats International with Norman Cook, which was a slight retake on the SOS Band's Just Be Good to Me from 1983. Number 46 is Sorrow by David Bowie, a much better version than the McCoys in 1965. 45, Oye Como Va, Santana's version, with fantastic percussion, of course, covering Tito Puente's 1962 original. 44 is Shipbuilding, Elvis Costello's version, covering the original Robert White, although there is an interesting Hue and Cry live version around, which is also very good. 43, in my opinion, is After the Gold Rush, K.D. Lang's version of the Neil Young 1970 classic. 42, one of my favourite songs, I think, of all time, Anyone Who Had a Heart, Bacharach and David. It's Luther's version in 1996, covering the original Dionne Warwick from 63, although Dusty had a version in 64 and Cilla in 65. 41, You Really Got Me. This is a Van Halen version of the Kinks' original classic. Very different, two fantastic versions of the same song. 40, Love Don't Live Here Anymore, Jimmy Nail versus the Rose Royce ballad. 39, Say Hello, Wave Goodbye, David Gray, improving, I think, on the Soft Cell original. 38, Night and Day, Everything But the Girl, their first single in 1983, beating the Sinatra song. Well, beating might be pushing it, but it's a different version. And Sinatra, the song originally came from Cole Porter's 1932 musical Gay Divorce, which passed me by, I have to say. 37, I Go to Sleep, the Pretenders 1981 version versus Ray Davis and the Kinks from 65. 36, I Shot the Sheriff, Clapton's retake on Marley's 73 version. 35, Groovy Kind of Love, Phil Collins' ballad version from 1988 versus covering Diane and Anita's 1965 version. 34, Wherever I Lay My Hat, Paul Young versus Marvin Gaye's song of 62. 33, Reason to Believe, Rod Stewart's improved version on the Tim Hardin folky original. 32, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart by Al Green from 72, beating the Bee Gees' #1 single from '71, in my opinion. 31 is One, Johnny Cash's amazing version of the U2 song. 30 is Denis by Blondie, covering Randy and the Rainbow's sort of doo-wop 1963 Denise. 29, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, the great Creedence Clearwater Revival, with a very interesting take on Marvin Gaye's classic. 28, Wild is the Wind, Bowie beating Johnny Mathis's 57 version, and later Nina Simone's. I think Bowie based it on Nina's version, actually. 27, Could It Be Magic? Okay, take that, I know, but it beats the Bazza Manilow version. 26, Look of Love, another brilliant Bacharach and David song. Nina Simone, I think probably as good as the Dusty version from '67. Brings us into the top 25. Okay, so top 25, you still with me? Probably not, but let's keep going. 25, At Last, Etta James, beating the John Payne and Lynn Barry version. 24 is Mr. Tambourine Man, The Byrds, thrashing the Dylan version. There's quite a few Dylans on here where people seem to improve on it. 23, Nothing Compares to You, Sinead, of course, versus Prince's, what do we say? Yeah, Prince's lackluster version, I think, even though it's his song, obviously. 22, I Will Always Love You, Whitney's classic vocals versus Dolly Parton's song. 21, All Along the Watchtower, Hendrix, smashing Dylan's. 20, Song to the Siren, remember that, This Mortal Coil, towering over the original Tim Buckley version, I think. Number 19, China Girl from Let's Dance, Bowie's version of Iggy's song. 18, Because the Night, Patti Smith's very different version to Springsteen's song. 17, Can We Still Be Friends, Robert Palmer's brilliant take on Todd Rundgren's original. 16, Under the Bridge, the All Saints 1991 version. Yeah, it's certainly different from the Red Hot Chilies. And they've even got bigger drums on it, which is surprising, bearing in mind how good Chad is. 15, Woodstock, Matthew Southern Comfort, who are British. I thought they were American, but they're British apparently, in 1970, with their take on the Joni Mitchell original. Number 14, Lost in Music. I have to smile when I think of The Fall taking on Sister Sledge, but that's what they did with Lost in Music. 13, Hard to Handle, Black Crowes, very different, superior rocky version of Otis's 1968 original. 12, I Only Have Eyes for You, Art Garfunkel, probably taking on the Flamingos version, although it came from the 1930s originally. Number 11, Sarah Smile, one of my favourite Hall & Oates songs, but in this case covered by Rumour, who's got a beautiful voice. Number 10, Hanging on the Telephone by Blondie, beating the Nerves 1976 original. Number 9, Can't Help Falling in Love, Andy Williams beating the Elvis 61 version by miles, in my opinion. Number 8, The Way We Were, Gladys Knight thrashing Streisand's 73 version. And interestingly, Gladys's version was sampled by the Wu-Tang Clan. Can't even say it. Wu-Tang Clan. Stranger things have happened. Number 7, Make You Feel My Love, Adele singing the hell out of Dylan's 1997 version from his Time Out of Mind album. Number 6, House of the Rising Sun, The Animals, which was number 1 in the UK and the US at the time, which is a version of an original traditional folk song, and I think which went back to the 1930s as well. So, and I don't know if you've ever seen the Animals video of this, where they effectively all walk around the studio. Brilliant. Number 5, Summer Breeze, such a brilliant cover by the Isley Brothers of the original Seals and Croft from 72. Number 4, Ken Booth, Everything I Own, which I think got to number 1 in the UK, versus David Gates and Bread's 72 version. And for the top 3, Private Life, Grace Jones' 1980 version with the inimitable Sly and Robbie rhythm section beating, I think, the Pretenders' 1979 original. And number 2, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, Led Zepp, from 1969, beating Joan Baez's 1962 folk version by a mile. And then my number 1, this is my number 1, not anybody else's number 1. My number 1 is a fantastic retake on a classic Bacharach and David song. This is Walk On By, and it's the Stranglers beating, well, not beating, but it's certainly a fantastic take on Dionne Warwick's 63 version. So there you have it. I'm sure you knew most of those were covers, but there might be 1 or 2 that you didn't. So please, if you like this stuff, as I said before, kindly like, kindly subscribe. I think the next video is going to come from, I think it's probably Dakar in Senegal, although I'm behind on my Hong Kong video, so either of those. Anyway, hope all's well where you are. We'll be back in Blighty at the end of April. See you soon. Bye. Bye.